Morning, beautiful. It's so nice to be out here, and the wind is actually a little bit warm because it's coming from here, from the north. And as soon as it's coming from the north, it's warmer. Let me show you the day. It's really nice to be outside in the back garden. There's stuff flowering. I'll be showing you in a minute. But I never get tired of the sky. And, okay, now we get into trees. My wattle is kind of ahead of the one on the road I've been taking pictures of, but there it is. Good morning, beautiful Linda. So we have the wattle, and the corfire's still got a few flowers on it. But really what's happening now is the winter bulbs. Good morning, Heather. They're just starting. It takes a little while, you know, you get the odd flower and you think, is that all there are? And then you see that there are more flower buds coming up. It just takes time. And they flower more quickly at this end. These are the paper white jonquils. The paper white flower more quickly at this end than they do at the other end. So it's to do with how much sun they get, I think. See, these are the buds coming up, and there's another one. And it just takes time, but there will be more flowers. There's another one. So the magnolia is mostly, thankfully, staying in bud. There's a couple of early flowers that are just really impatient. It's going to burst soon. You can see it coming. But I love these. They remind me of pussy willows because they're so fuzzy. John, good morning to you. I'm just enjoying the first morning stroll around the garden for a while because it's been so cold. Look at these. See, I took a couple of plants out here, made some space, because these century plants are going to get big, and they were starting to fight, and they get really big, these things. So just got to make sure I don't lose my footing because the ground's a bit rough. There's a scented rose geranium, that one there. If you rub its leaves, it smells gorgeous. Good morning, Mohammed. And you can see the rosemary's got a few flowers on it, and the hebes that I planted last year have become proper bushes, which they do very quickly. Oh, look, we've got a spring treasure, a winter treasure, let's be honest. Here are the snowflakes. There you go. They're cute little green spots. I just adore these. And there's a couple more flowers. There'll be more late, but these are the really early ones. They're so pretty. Very fond of this. It was one of the first things I learned to enjoy when I was very small. Alexandria, it is beautiful to see you. And coming on to this fabulous foliage, never mind the flowers that are going to come. I just love this wave of iris foliage. It gets really long, almost a metre. It does standing up, it falls over, but it's glorious. I love them. They do. And these are the Cuban lilies, which make these big flower heads with blue. And then we just have jonquils, lots of jonquils. Advayu, it's beautiful to see you. Dave, good morning. See, we've got the tall, these are old-fashioned jonquils. All of my jonquils are old-fashioned. And these are very old-fashioned. They're so heavy. They're getting a bit old. But they're so heavy they fall over. And so I, as you can see the wires, I put something around them to try and help them stay standing. And it worked, which is great. And more old-fashioned jonquils with little short petals and little cups. So you have long petals and short petals. And they just keep on coming. This is the time of year when the jonquils just keep coming up. And see all the nigella, the love and the mist. It's seeded last year. I've left it there. And you can see lots of flower buds coming. So, they're not spring bulbs, they're winter bulbs because it's so much warmer. Ivy, it's gorgeous to see you. Good morning, good morning. And the very first early chair is out as well. See, this is a bit like the early one, but it's different. It's a double version of the little one with short petals there. So, oh look, and the very first soldiers and sailors flowers are coming out. They start off blue, except when they start out pink. Sailors, of course, are blue in the Navy, and soldiers wear red. That must be based upon how. Good morning, Jen. What else have we got here? The rose really still wearing its winter greenery, the last of last year's leaves, but they'll come out. And the lawn is very long, which I kind of like actually, but it needs cutting. And there you can see, I'm luxuriating being able to show you all this. So we have a circle of bulbs, right? And they're all coming out. And a lot of them are, well, you've got the short ones again, and the long ones right next to them. They've clearly been out for a little while. And then every now and then you have some yellow ones, which are like the white ones, but they're yellow. So it's just a time of great floral abundance in this garden, and I'm glad I can share it with you because the weather's finally nice. There's an early cineraria, and I love this. This is a cassia plant, but the leaves, this is magic. I've never seen this before because it's the first year I've had it. This bright red colour that the leaves go when they get old. It's just glorious. Amy, good morning, gorgeous. So nice to be out here with you. So, let me get on to the topic. Now, yesterday, look, all the time, I have this every day, really. Some part of me goes, oh, I get it. Oh. And the moment you have something new, stunning, transformative land in your awareness, the first thing that happens is you can't go back to not knowing what you just realised. There is no return from an aha moment. And then the next thing that happens is, if it's big enough, and some of our aha moments are quite small and some of them are huge, the next thing that happens is you think, oh shit. And I'm speaking about a big aha, right? If this is now true, then it means that, that isn't true anymore. And 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 this isn't true anymore. It's like your whole life can actually feel like it collapses like a house of cards. And at that point, it is very human and very normal to think, oh God, this is awful. You've just had this amazing realization, something big has changed in your life, and then very soon after, you feel uncomfortable. It's like, what's wrong with me? I just woke up to something amazing. Why am I feeling all this discomfort? What's happened is, as you are having this realization that all of these thoughts and beliefs and expectations and things you thought you could rely upon and how life is and the way you are and, who you think you are isn't true anymore. Well, there's still a bunch of old neural circuitry in your brain that represents that old identity, and it's used to being fired and wired every day, and your body's used to that chemistry being sent to it to condition it into being that person that you've been for however long. Yeah, I know it was, Linda. You inspired this conversation, but you're not the only one by any means. I'm so delighted for you. But it's like the old self still exists in your body and in your brain, but you've had a consciousness upgrade. Your awareness has gone from here to here, and it can't go back. However, for most of us, our body has to catch up with our mind. Timothy, good morning, gorgeous. Everybody's here and we're outside in the garden. I'm so pleased. Your body has to catch up with your mind. And your body is used to you being different. Your body is used to having a different mind running it. And it's saying, where are my old signposts? Where is the old landscape of your normal thinking and feeling? What the hell are you doing? Not doing that. I'm uncomfortable. I am in the unknown and I do not like it. I want to go back to that which is familiar and known to me. That's the normal human response, right? And it's because if you've been thinking and feeling a certain way for however long, you have architecture in your brain that represents all of that thinking and feeling you've done for however long, and your body is conditioned to being like that, and it knows how to be whatever it is that you've just realised you no longer are. And your body's going, shit, what happened, right? This is what happens. This is how it works. This is why it's actually, your dreams come true and then suddenly you think, I've had it happen. I really have. The point I want to make today, when that happens, The human thing is to say, I want to find something that feels normal, natural, familiar, and safe. The superhuman thing, the supernatural thing is to say, if I go back to what feels familiar and normal and what I'm used to and what I know, when I know what to think and what to do and how to feel and how to be, I'm going back to my past. I don't want to do that. I just got myself a new mind. I got myself a new consciousness. Oh, that means maybe I should actively seek to go into this uncomfortable, unfamiliar state of being and know that it's actually probably a good thing to stay with this unfamiliar, uncomfortable state of being because it's brand new, right? Maybe I should actually make little concerted, conscious efforts to choose to behave and to think and to feel in this new way. Like, I've got to stay conscious, I've got to stay aware, or I'm going to get seduced back into my past by my old self. And I better stay awake. I better keep paying attention so that I don't just go back to sleep, go back to who I was, and, recondition my body to the old mind. I don't want to do that. I want to recondition my body to this new mind that I have. This is how I want to be now. But I need to understand, I need to remind myself it's going to feel weird. It might even feel really wrong. But if I remind myself that it's okay that it feels strange and unfamiliar and I don't know what to say and I open my mouth to say the old thing and I just can't say that anymore. And it's like, shit, all my memories are now irrelevant. I have to make new ones. I have to decide who I am all over again. Linda, it's an amazing time, but oh my God, But you are ready for this. You've done the work to create this. I'm so proud for you. So proud of you and so proud for you. Christine, good morning. It's awesome. Your past is literally dissolving when this happens, right? Literally, the past is being washed away because you're just thinking, oh, I'm not that. I'm not this. This isn't true anymore. That's not me anymore. And when you're faced with a blank slate, at first it's like, oh, shit, it's blank. Who the hell am I? But after you get over the shock of your identity kind of dissolving as you watch, you realise it's a blank slate. And you have the chalk. Limitless potentials. Who do you want to be? And by the way, we make this choice every day, every moment. We really do. It's just that most of the time, we don't have this experience of having, your head explode and I'm just not going to do that anymore. That is no longer true for me. And I don't know, I'm extrapolating here. I'll tell you a little story. Let me check the time. Okay. So in the workshop of my inspiration, Joe Dispenza, that he teaches, I bought the online workshops, and he's explaining about neuroplasticity, right? Because a lot of what we're talking about, when I say that you fire and wire something and you make a superhighway in your brain about being miserable or about being happy or about being whatever, that's because when you think a new thought, when you learn something, a group of neurons in your brain hooks together, they connect to represent that thing that you've learned. And if you keep revisiting that thing that you learned, those connections get stronger and they also become more. So you get an enriched network. Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Eric. And so that's the hardware that happens in your brain. And I've seen real-time footage of what happens. It happens in real time, it happens really fast. And there's one which Joe says, now this is the aha phenomenon. And it's when a person, and he tells a little story like, you're sitting there in the audience and saying, I'm feeling kind of hungry. I'm a little bit, how long is he going to go on for? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that kind of makes sense. Oh, I get it. And at the moment of I get it, good morning, Dave. At the moment of I get it, you see like a whole cluster of neurons that's already kind of hooked together reach out and make this massive spiderweb connection with a whole other cluster of neurons. It's like this, two decent-sized networks of stuff in your brain hook up together and make this really big one. And that is the aha phenomenon. That's sprouting a whole lot of connections. Now, I have a theory, because I this is one of these things I'll ask him, or I'll do some research and find out myself. But I have a feeling that when you have a really powerful experience that completely changes your identity, and you just look around and think, I'm not that person anymore. That's just not me. I'm not that anymore. I think what happens is you have a massive pruning going on. Because I know that people have experiences, and, a near-death experience actually works like this. The person comes back and they have a new consciousness, right? And some of them, they don't even remember who they are. Because the consciousness the download is so powerful that it remodels their brain, it remodels their chemistry, and they've lost the old identity. I reckon in that time when they're out and then they come back and the new consciousness arrives, the brain and the body can instantly remodel to reflect the new personality that's arrived. This is how I think near-death experiences and awakenings and all that wow stuff happened. And it's not my idea. I got this from Cryon, because Cryon explained it one time, and I thought, that makes freaking sense. Yes, and everything unravels and the memories are dissolving, the constructions are going, and this is neural pruning. You are pruning like mad, Linda. And it's happening because your consciousness has shifted. It's just shifted, and you don't even have to think it. You're just kind of watching it going, oh, that's not real anymore. The emotion's gone too, yeah? It's just gone because you've done the work and you've created this, and it's so exciting. Joey, good morning. And this is what happens. So I reckon there's a whole bunch of neural pruning going on in your brain anymore because you disinvested your energy from those connections, and they got to prune apart. And so you want to stay in the unknown. You want to stay in the place where it feels weird and strange and you don't know who you are. Because you sure as heck don't want to go back to who you've been, but you don't yet know who you're becoming, because you're like the butterfly, the grub that's inside the chrysalis. You're not yet the butterfly, and you're no longer the caterpillar either. You don't even know what the template is. But you're right, Laura. You are creating new ones because the old ones are obsolete. But there's always a void. There's always a space in the middle. And sometimes it lasts for a minute or a day or an hour. And sometimes it lasts for a lot longer. I've been in the void for a while. But this is what's happening. The old self is literally dying. Neurologically, biochemically, emotionally, energetically, epigenetically. Just be curious. Your body's going to change too. The old self is going to die. The old self that believed whatever it was true just isn't there anymore. And so, of course, all the stuff that's standing upon it is going to dissolve because it no longer exists. It's no longer in your field. It's no longer in your consciousness. It's no longer informing your biology. It's not there. And you just got to realize and remember that if you find yourself going back to the old ways of being, and I guarantee you will, what you want to do is stay aware, is keep paying attention and think, oh, hang on, is that who I want to be? I know it's familiar, but is that who I want to be? Do I really want to keep feeling this way? Do I really want to keep thinking this way? Do I really want to keep behaving like this? And if you don't, then, yeah, it is like molting, then you have this opportunity to create something new. And I'm so glad that you're feeling in the middle of a void. Because your old life's dissolving, Linda. And as soon as you start creating yourself consciously, that is going to happen. And you need to not freak out. And I know you're not. And yeah, your husk is totally changing. It's not a husk, it's a temple. It's a palace. Oh my God. Imagine that if you're living in a palace, walking around through this, amazing illusion. It's a co-creation. We all create this. And you're walking around the palace in a temple, in a racing car, a high performance vehicle. There's a thought to change. So, when change comes, the thing is to realize that it's what you wanted, but it pushes you into the unknown. And that's the place you want to stay. Really simple message, but really, really important. I'm totally in the unknown at the moment because it's like I've turned, how do I say this? Not I've turned a big corner in my life. It's like I'm in a different universe and I'm living a different life now. And I have to keep remembering, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing this. And I've never done it before. And I don't know how to do it. But if I stay in the present moment, the house seems to take care of itself. And, you know, the synchronicities. And I'm learning to trust the synchronicities in the moment with my creation. And so I'm becoming that person who can't see much past A, B, and maybe a little bit of C. But I know that A to Z is sorted. I just don't need to know how. Yeah, and we have to let go of the old to welcome the new. You cannot choose a little, I just want to keep this little part of my old self. No, you can't, because it's a different frequency. It's a different resonance, it's a different vibration. You can't have them both. We're constantly letting go as we evolve, as we change, as we choose who we are. So, let me just see. I've got time to show you the sky. I have a very short time to show you the sky, but it's beautiful, and I just want you to see this. Have to appreciate seeing blue sky and clouds and, you know, the intention of sun, because in winter it can be pretty grey for a while. So here it is. This is today's beauty. There are the flowers. Yes, a palace now. Indeed. Yes, if it feels different and unknown, you're doing it right. Totally right. This is what we're doing. It is Friday today. I swear I lost a day this week. I have to keep looking at the calendar to know what day it is because, like I said, I'm in a different universe. It's Friday. Look out for resonant replays over the weekend. They'll be the ones that say, pick me to be played again. Bernadette, good morning, gorgeous. I just got time to say hi and bye. Mwah. Love you all. Thank you so much for sharing with me. I'll see you on Sunday, Monday. And until then, go into the unknown. Big love.